Well, good evening. Thank you for hosting this judicial trials for juvenile trials. And then I went on into private practice, which is where I am today. I have a litigation experience in every single courtroom that I could be assigned to as a circuit court judge. That's important because it means that I have a diverse background and that I can walk into any courtroom and be comfortable, knowing that the subject matter won't be foreign to me. Doesn't mean I won't know it all. I mean, obviously I will not know it all, but I know where to find the answers and I know where to look. As far as my family goes, I am married and I have two beautiful, awesome, amazing children. And they were both born with a few challenges. And that has opened up my world to learning about audiologists, doctors, therapists, all sorts of therapy going on with my younger son, the school system, social anxieties and things that go along with their challenges. Thought I would never have to learn about them, but I did. I'm a better person for it, and it opens up my life to experience the things I never thought I would have to have. I come from a very large family, also not a perfect family, by the way, so I've had a lot of life experience in my short amount of time here on this earth. I work with the CUNY campaign against human trafficking. I'm a certified speaker, and I go around trying to raise awareness of this terrible, terrible issue we have here in the Tri-County area. I'm also president of my child's charter school's PTO, and I'm in charge of raising $200,000 a year to keep that A-rated school going. And I'm also in charge of talking and addressing concerns of all those parents. So not only do I have patients dealing with my own children, I have patients dealing with 400 children's parents and their other parents, and they're usually have two sets now, which is sad but true. That's kind of the day we're in now. So I have patients there too. I would invite you to look at my website, which is www.aliciapolkforjudge.com. You can see my endorsements, which includes the Tampa Tribune and Sheriff Gualtieri, Sheriff Naco. Please look at me. Please ask me the questions. I will answer them if I can. But I thank you for your time tonight. Don't forget to vote August 26th, Alicia Polk. Thank you.
Good evening. How are you tonight? Pleasure to be here. Alan Rosenthal. I'm running for 6th Judicial Circuit Judge, as you're aware, Group 2. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. First and foremost, I've been practicing law now since December of 1997. So it's going on about 17 years. My majority of my practice is in family law, probably one of the most difficult areas of law, not because the subject, it's complex litigation, but because of what you're dealing with, and it's dealing with people. And judges have to know how to deal with people, because it's very personal. I started off at at New Orleans Loyola University. I've got a unique background, probably more diverse than most of the candidates and most lawyers for that matter. I was a music major, so there's not too many lawyers that were music majors. I was the principal bassoonist for the Loyola Symphony. I was also a jazz saxophonist. Been lucky enough to play clarinet, flute, and a couple other instruments. And why is that important to you? Because it says that I'm diverse. It means I can go from one thing to the next, and that's what a judge needs to be able to do. A judge needs to be able to adapt, overcome, and improvise, and those are the skills I learned. From Loyola University, I transferred to the University of Florida. Go Gators! Shout out to my Gators. Some of you won't like that, so I'm sorry. But while I was there, I obtained 3 degrees. I obtained a Bachelor of Science in Telecommunication, which is essentially TV and radio production. I have a concentration in business and a music education minor in performance and education. From there, I went to Stetson University in St. Petersburg, graduated. From there, I opened up my own law firm. I've been doing that now going on 17 years. I'm the only trial lawyer in my office, which means that every case that's gone through my office for the last 17 years, I'm the one that's taken into court. I carry a caseload of between 150 to 200 cases a year, so do the math. I've been in that courtroom pretty much every day of my practice. And I've practiced criminal, civil, family, probate. If it's an area of law you can practice in circuit court, I've done it. I've got the experience. On a personal level, because I know you probably want to know that, I've been married now going on 19 years. I'm very proud of that. And for my wife, our anniversary is coming up July 23rd. I didn't forget. I've got 2 beautiful, lovely children that I'm very proud of. And I get to spend a lot of time with them, or at least I did before we started campaigning. It's kind of taken away from it a little bit, but it's a sacrifice that I want to make for the community because I enjoy doing what I'm doing. On Saturday mornings, I teach martial arts. I hold a 4th degree black belt. in Taekwondo, Red Sash and Wing Chun Kung Fu, and I'm an honorary Go-Dan in Goju-Ryu. And why is that important? Because it shows that I have discipline, and that I don't just start something, I finish it. And I don't just finish it because people think, well, you finished at black belt, right? No, I didn't finish. I just kept going. Because I think we should always rise to excellence. I want to ask for your vote on August 26th. Please check out my website, Rosenthal4judge.com. That's Rosenthal4judge.com. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening. My name is Brian Battaglia. I'm running for Circuit Court Judge, Group 16. I was born here, educated here, raised here, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my background this evening. First of all, I became a lawyer here 26 or 28 years ago on May 16, 1986. And I wanted to explain to you a little bit about that. I raised my right hand and took the oath, and I practiced here now for 28 years. And during that period of time, I've handled most of the types of cases that a circuit judge would hear. Very, very critical and important. I've handled hundreds of cases, not just 25, but hundreds of cases during my 28 years of experience in this circuit. I've handled many of the types of cases that circuit judges handle. Those include eminent domain cases, civil litigation cases, complex litigation cases, and many other types of cases such as employment law and matters that involve appeals. I've handled many appeals in this circuit and also at other levels of our court system. I've handled appeals at every level of our court system, including successfully in the Supreme Court of Florida. So experience is very, very critical. In addition, I've done much in my community. I've been a leader in our community for many years. I was president of the community law program, and I also served in many other capacities in different organizations such as the U Park Foundation Board, where I currently serve, and I've served for the past 5 years. So that's very, very important, community service, because, again, as a judge, you are dealing with people each and every day in the court system. And that's very, very important to understand the community. So those are the qualities that you look for in a circuit court judge. You look at litigation experience, involvement in the community, and also you look at a person's commitment to family and their work in the community. So that's very, very important. The other thing I wanted to point out is that you also want to evaluate the candidate by looking at the types of endorsements that they have. I've been endorsed by the sheriff of Pasco County, Chris Nacco, by the sheriff of Pinellas County, by both clerks of the court, and by the FOP lodges in Clearwater and Pinellas County, and many other groups. So if you look at my website, it's Brian Battaglia for Judge, and that will list all of my endorsements. So I'm asking for your vote on it's been a long day, August 26th, and vote for Brian, and vote for experience. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Kimberly Sharp, thank you for having us. As Laura Snell said, it's really nice to have people provide food and drinks for the candidates because we're out there running around, don't get to eat much, so we appreciate that. I'm a partner at Johnson Pope, Boker, Ruppel, and Burns in Clearwater, where I practice commercial litigation. And I have passed out a card with some information about my experience and also my community activities. But I want to take this time to talk about 3 things that I think distinguish me in this race. First is my courtroom experience. I work at Johnson Pope, where we have many different areas of law, and I have practiced with all of the partners there, including tax, probate, real estate, bankruptcy, all kinds of cases that I've been able to deal with. I've been very fortunate to have a law firm with such a diverse areas of law for me to practice in. I have done federal jury trials and state court jury and non-jury trials, as well as arbitrations and appeals at both the state and federal level. My courtroom experience is actually something that was cited by the Tampa Tribune in their endorsement of me on Monday, which I'm very thankful for. The second thing I want to talk about is technology. I have a somewhat unusual degree, because like Alan, I'm a computer science major from the University of Florida. And I think that my technology background and that unique skill set will add value to the bench in today's changing world. The third thing I want to talk about, and probably the most important, is demeanor, because most people who walk into a courtroom, whether it be a juror or a party or a lawyer, judge that experience by how they were treated by the judge. So I think it's very important to have a judge with a good demeanor and a good ability to communicate and relate with the parties who are in the courtroom. Actually, on the day that I decided to announce that I was running for judge, I was talking with one of my clients. It was in a different circuit before a hearing, and I was trying to explain to him why I was running for judge. And we went into the hearing, and the judge, we were going to lose the hearing, it was clear, and the judge called him up to the podium and swore him in and asked him a few questions and said, "Sir, I understand you're frustrated. I hear you. I understand your arguments," and she repeated back his argument. And she said, "I'm going to rule this way because," and she took the time to explain why she was ruling the way she was ruling. And we walked out of there, and he said, "I have never felt so good to lose." And I said, "That's why I'm running for judge." We need judges who understand that just because they may have 50 cases on their docket that day, but for each person who walks into that courtroom, it could be the most momentous day of their lives. We need judges who are thoughtful and engaged. So when you make your decision, you must choose the candidate that you believe will be the most fair, the most compassionate about the duties, the most willing to work hard and improve, and the most likely to make you proud that you voted. If I'm fortunate enough to be elected, I hope that you'll be proud you voted for Kim Sharp. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Amanda Colon, and I'm running for Circuit Court Judge in Group 21. Thank you for coming out tonight, first of all. I'd like to tell you a little bit about me personally. I lived in the N.Pinellas, Pasco area since I was 3 years of age. When I was 7, my mom became a trial clerk in the new Port Ritchie Courthouse, and I spent a whole lot of my summers there watching court and trials, and that's where my love of the criminal justice system and our court system overall began. I started working at 14 years of age at a little store near my house, and within a few months I had the keys to the store and was responsible for closing it up at night. From that point on, I worked very hard, and I sought out leadership positions and special assignments in every position I held. I went to the University of Florida, where I majored in criminology. I worked 2 to 3 jobs at the same time to put myself through school and still graduated with honors. I then went to the University of Florida College of Law, where I worked 3 jobs at one time to put myself through law school and graduated with honors. I've been happily married over 11 years, and I'm a mom of 3 girls. A little bit about my legal experience. I've been in courtrooms for over 13 years. I have jury trial experience, non-jury trial experience, and appellate experience. I started my career as a prosecutor, where I was in the courtroom daily. I participated in everything from misdemeanors to murders. I also went on to the Attorney General's office. Backing up, I also spent a substantial amount of time in the domestic violence unit at the prosecutor's office. I then went to the Attorney General's office, where I handled criminal appeals, as the normal rotation would suggest, but I was given 2 special assignments there. I was in charge of state appeals, making those strategic decisions of what appeals we were going to take up from every circuit from Pasco down to Naples. The second special project I had was defending the constitutionality of the Jimmy Rice Act, or Sexual Violent Predator Act. I did that successfully to the Florida Supreme Court. So I have argued at the Second District Court of Appeal. I've written, submitted argument to the Florida Supreme Court, and I've broken down and analyzed down to the minutia, hundreds of jury trials. So I do understand how a jury trial operates. I have very varied experience. I've been in many different divisions: criminal, family, dependency, juvenile delinquency, drug court, county civil, and I've served as a hearing officer for juvenile arbitration. I'm a Florida Supreme Court certified mediator for over 7 years, so I have a lot of experience being neutral and unbiased, just like a judge is required to be. I urge you to pick up my brochure, look at my service to the community. I'm a guardian ad litem, vice president of the Peace Center for Girls in Pasco, and the past chair of the Grievance Committee investigating attorneys. I point that out to you because service is important. It tells you about me as a person, and it tells you how I see this position. I I'm looking to bring efficiency, integrity, and respect to the courtroom. I've been above and beyond in every position I've had, and I'm asking for your vote on August 26th. Amanda Coulon, Group 21.
Good evening. I'm Circuit Court Judge Bruce Boyer. I'm the only Circuit Court judge in the room. I'm already a Circuit Court judge. I've been a Circuit Court judge now for 24 years. I enjoy my job, and I'd like to continue being a Circuit Court judge. However, we have someone that thinks that you ought to take that job away from me and give it to him. So I would suggest that you allow me to continue on as a Circuit Court judge. Just a brief background. Back in the olden days, I was a school teacher. That's where I got my start, before law school. Taught up in Pasco County at Golf Junior High, taught at junior high. And then I went off to law school, got my degree, and went to work for the state attorney's office down here as a trial lawyer. And back then, we really didn't bother keeping track of how many trials we were doing. But on the jury trials that we were doing, my day was Mondays and Thursdays. Every Monday and Thursday, I had jury trials. So over the 4.5 years, I guesstimating I did about 250, 300 jury trials. Jury trials are what I like. Jury trials are what I enjoy. And now I'm a judge. I'm on 24 years as a judge. And I have I'm on my 206th jury trial as a judge, as a circuit court judge. In fact, we were in trial all week this week. The lawyers were real nice, and I said, we're stopping at 4:30. I have important people to go see. And we'll finish hopefully Friday. That's our plan. But it's a 5-day jury trial. That's where I think we find out who can be a judge and who cannot. Right now, we have 1,800 active cases at any one time per judge. Every time we lose one, we get another one. So I'm managing 1,800 cases. I'm in the civil jury trial section, and I'm doing jury trials. And jury trials are important. Here in the Sixth Circuit, which is Pasco and N.Pinellas, last year, we did 634 jury trials. I did not do all of them, but I did my share. And by doing those, that's what people really understand the courts are. And that's the ultimate decision, is what happens with your case when you go to jury trial. And I would submit that I'm the most qualified to do those because I've been doing it for 24 years. And I like what I do. And I've done the other sections as well. Thank you. I've done the other sections as well. I've done the family, the civil, the probate. I have 440 hours of continuing judicial education classes to make me an even better judge. So I request that you allow me to take my job and you vote for Bruce Boyer. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is John Newland. I'm really not here to downplay the substantial and valuable experience that Judge Boyer has. That would be stupid and disrespectful. And really, the problem is that we're going to be losing that experience because less than 2 years into the 6-year term, the Florida Constitution requires that Judge Boyer step down. At that point in time, the governor appoints his replacement, not the voters. And we were at an event last night to discuss some statistics, but something you should know that in the Sixth Circuit, over the last 18 years, 93% of judges who have run for re-election have done so with no opponent whatsoever. No opponent. Which means the person who winds up in that spot is going to be there for a while. So, do you want it to be someone you pick? Do you want it to be someone the governor picks? I think I'm able to do the job. I think I'm well qualified. I've been practicing for 15 years. Started out working at a mid-sized firm in Tampa doing tax work and commercial transactions. I went to a large national firm where I continued that work. And for the last several years, I've been practicing on my own. I practice primarily in family law, which puts me in court almost every day. I have substantial probate and trust litigation experience. and also a lot of general civil and commercial litigation experience. Now, in addition to that, I think I also have the demeanor that's required, which a lot of people have talked about. I'm a father of 9, I have children ranging from 22 years down to 21 months. So it teaches you patience, there's no question about that. And I joked that there was a 2-month period a couple years ago where I had 5 teenage daughters at one time. And if anything, will try your patience. That was nice. But in the end, the question is, who do you want to select who your judge is going to be for the next extended period of time? Some people don't care. Some people say, okay, let the governor pick, and we'll just take what we get. No big deal. I don't think that's fair. I don't think it empowers the voters. And ultimately, this is an elected position. So, if you agree on that score, and you take a look at my qualifications and you think of the job I could do, I would ask that you support me and give me your vote on August 26th. Thank you.
Right now, we're going to turn this over to the moderators who are going to ask the questions. Let's start with Laura.
Yes, okay. This first question is for Group 1, candidate Laura Snell. Is this audio clear enough for you? Okay. Please answer this in 1 minute or less. Is the rule of summary judgment a violation of the Florida Constitution, and does it erode the 7th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution?
I'm sorry, can you please repeat that?
Is the rule of summary judgment a violation of the Florida Constitution, and does it erode the 7th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution?
Well, I happen to have the Constitution with me.